Hello, my lovelies. So today's lesson is on decimal multiplication. And I'm going to show you how to multiply a number such as this one here by this one here. And we're going to do it using a 10 by 10 grid. So this is a 10 by 10 grid here. I actually have two grids here. So this is one grid, and this is another grid here. Okay, they're just joined. So let's focus on this grid here. So I'm going to show you that this number here and this number here, the proper way to say decimals in math is not 0.5, which is what we've been hearing, a lot lately, but it's actually 0 and 5/10. Because for decimals, if we remember, if we have the decimal here, this place is the tenths place. If we had a number here, this would be the hundredths place. And if we had a number here, it would be the thousandths place. Okay, so tens, hundredths, thousandths with a THS on the end. Get this out of the way. Okay, so the proper way, again, this would be 0 and 5/10, and this would be 0 and 6/10. So the way to represent it on the 10 by 10 grid is to take this number here, the first one, okay, and because this is divided in 10 by 10 sections, we have to color in 5 of those sections, okay, so I just X'd in 10. Right? Because if we were thinking about this as a big hundreds block, this would be 10, this would be 10, this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10, right? Because there's 10 squares in each row. So I would just, it's going to take too long to X in all of them, so I'll just pretend that we're shading these in. These lines will represent shading. So I've done 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've shaded in 5 sections of 10. And then, to attack this number here, 0 and 6/10, we're going to focus on here, and we're going to shade in, again, 6/10. But we're going to go the other way. We're going to go horizontally. So we're going to go across the top. So 1 section of 10, 2 section of 10, 3 section of 10, 4 section of 10, 5 section of 10, and 6 section of 10. And then we're going to look and see what overlapped. So with the 5 sections of 10 that I shaded in, they're right there. And the 6th section of 10 I shaded in is right here. What overlaps is basically this section right here. That overlaps. And if I was shading it in, you could see it even more clearly. And then I would count up all the blocks that are now shaded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So if I counted all of these, it actually equals 30 squares that are shaded in, resulting in the decimal 0 and 30. Now, not 30/10. Remember, this place is in the hundredths place, so it's actually 0 and 30 hundredths. Okay, I'm going to do another example on the other grid for us. Okay. On the other grid, let's do 0 and 4/10 times 0 and 3/10. So again, we look at the first number here. Why is it not erasing here? And we're going to shade in 4/10. And again, these are tenths. 1, that's one block of 10. I'm going to do the X's this time just so it's a little more clear for you. So that's, again, I just did 2 blocks of 10. I'm working on my third. And now 4. So I've shaded in 4/10. And now my other decimal is 0 and 3/10. So now I'm going to shade in 3/10, but going across the top. So 1/10 across the top, 2/10, and 3/10. Now, we look at what's overlapped between the two numbers that I shaded in. This is the overlapping. Well, how many squares is that shaded in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Guess what the answer is? 0 and 12 hundredths. Now remember, the 2 again is in the hundredths place. So we call this decimal 0 and 2 hundredths with an S on the end. Okay, so that's the first part of this particular lesson. I'm going to post another follow-up video on how to estimate using decimal multiplication. So be sure to watch the other one too. See you later.